held on May 20th from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. here at the Transportation and Support Service Facility at 1790 Ladder Road for all residents. Make sure to be on the lookout for mailers sent home from the district, as well as detailed information is available at greececsd.org. Joining us this evening in ballot order, we have Miss Anna Maria Falzerano. Mrs. Seaman, in second place on the ballot, won't be joining us, but I do have a statement from her for tonight. Ms. Megan Farah, Ms. Shauna Smith, Mr. Mark Bonagurio, I practice it too, Bonagurio, and Ms. Jean LaPlaca. I am looking forward to learning more about each of you this evening, and with that, we will begin. So unfortunately, Ms. Seaman was unable to join us this evening, but she did prepare a statement, so I'll share that now. So, good evening. My name is Monica Seaman, and I am currently out of the country in Italy on a pre-planned vacation and regret that I'm unable to attend tonight's Meet the Candidate night. I'm seeking a first-term seat on the Greece School Board of Education. I'm a lifetime resident of Greece, growing up and raising my own family here. I have been a nurse for 35 years, serving the larger Rochester area in many roles, currently as a nursing instructor. I feel a true sense of community and can't think of a better opportunity to serve the community than to support and advocate for our youngest members. As a passionate nurse educator, I know the transformational change in education can provide to an individual. I view the role of board member as a bridge between how the process works and being knowledgeable and transparent in sharing that information with the people of the community. In addition, being mindful of the responsibilities and duties appointed, including being an active listener, a participant in problem solving, and being fiscally aware. I'm excited and eager to work with other members of the board and to take part in the ongoing development and prosperous future for the children and educators of the Greece School District. I'm happy to answer any follow-up questions upon my return and extend my apologies for not being able to be there in person tonight. Thank you and kind regards, Monica Seaman. So we wish her safe travels, and please reach out to her if you have any questions. All right, candidates, we will get started. So for an introduction question, please introduce yourself to our community, including your background, prior service in the district, and why are you interested in joining the school board or continuing your service on the school board? As each of you are parents with children or grandchildren currently enrolled or graduated from this district, can you share your thoughts on your own experience in the district schools and what strengths or areas you need improvement? So we will start with Ms. Falzerano.
Good evening, everyone. I am Anna Maria Falzerano, and before I begin, I just want to say how humbled I have been to be a servant to the students and families in this community for over 30 years, that you have entrusted your most prized possessions, your children, to me over these years in my career. I'm Anna Maria, and my husband David and I have been Greece residents for over 40 years. We raised our 3 children here in the Greece Central School District. They are all Athena graduates. My granddaughter is also a resident of Greece and is attending Greece schools as a kindergartner. My career began very strongly as a high school teacher for Cardinal Mooney High School, where I taught Spanish and Italian for students in grades 9 through 12. When that school was closed, I continued my professional career as a continuing education teacher for St. John Fisher University, teaching Spanish and Italian to adults. And then I began my career with Greece Central, teaching at Arcadia Middle and High School, and then moving into a TOSA position, teacher on special assignment for the Office of World Languages. I pursued a degree in ed leadership at St. John Fisher College, earning a Master of Science, and I became the coordinator of world languages, where I held that position for 15 years. I do want to point out, too, that I earned my undergrad, my Bachelor of Arts, at St. John Fisher in Spanish education, and I also have a Master of Arts in Liberal Studies from SUNY Brockport. What I feel that I bring most strongly to this position is deep experience and understanding of our school community and our community at large. I understand the needs of a growing community, and I understand the needs of our families and our children.
Your time is up. Thank you, Ms. Falzerano.
Thank you.
Ms. Farah.
Hi. Thank you for moderating this, Dr. Caitlin White. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. I am seeking re-election to continue advocating for our students, families, and educators. My husband, James, and I have been married for 16 years, and we are long-life Greece residents. We are blessed with 4 children, and we do have 4 additional children that came into the marriage. So we do have a blended family of 8 Farah children, although you only have 4 in Greece. They've all grown up and they've moved on. That also gave us a chance. We had 3 grandchildren on top of that. So I am a grandmother on top. No one really knew that. We are active members in our church community. I am Greece graduate of Olympia, so I bleed green and gold, and so do my kids. Our schools are fundamentals to our children's future, and I'm dedicated to supporting high-quality education, transparency, and accountability. My husband and I own a second-generation business, and hopefully our kids will take on. We have a big pool to pull from, so the bullpen is big here to choose. We are members of the Greece Chamber of Commerce, so my business experience provides me with the real-world understanding and strong customer service skills to address challenge and strengthen our schools. I am involved in various committees, and I am a member of the PTA, a former soccer coach. I am involved in various committees. Oh, apologize, I said that. Active support for local animal shelters, which I have many foster fails. And I am involved in a lot of civic organizations, such as our veterans. I am active at the Monroe County level, assisting with initiatives such as Dress for Success and holiday gift stockings for the children in our military families. I am old school. I am back from the day of burlap bags and 2-ended pens. One of the 3 of my blended parents was a speech pathologist, so I know firsthand how tough it can be as she started the SSLI in free will and had the education granted through the Department of Education. We also hosted exchange students through the Fresh Air Grant Program and had served several carnivals in our neighborhood raising funds for muscular dystrophy. So I want to continue to give back to my community, and I look forward to continuing the growth here at Greece Central.
Thank you. Mr. Bonagario.
Thank you, Mary Caitlin, and thank you, all of you who are attending tonight and maybe watching out there. My name is Mark Bonagario. I grew up in the city of Rochester, graduated from Jefferson High School, was a public school attendee all my life through high school. One of my teachers is sitting in the audience and also a colleague on the board. I have my wife, Mary Lou, here. We've been married, just celebrated 28 years of marriage. We have 3 adult sons, a lovely daughter-in-law, and a beautiful granddaughter, so I'm in that club too. We have been a family that has done a lot of work we've done something called Flower City Work Camp for about 15 years. That's a program in the city where students contribute to fixing up homes for residents in the city, residents who are struggling financially. And we've done that for all through our kids' growing up years, through their teenage years. We have, as a family, served at Open Door Mission, and I served on the board there for 6 years. Served more recently before joining this board on the Board of Literacy Rochester. So giving back is very important to our family. When I joined this board, or when I began speaking to this board, I became very aware of challenges that our school community is facing, and have really tried to give back in that way, bringing about some needed changes, and I'm sure we'll be talking about some of those as we go through the evening.
Thank you. Ms. LaPaca.
Hey, good evening, actually. So I just always wanted to do this. Hello, Greece community, YouTube community. So I'm going to give a shout out to everybody watching. My name is Jenny LaPlaca, and I currently have 2 kids in the Greece Central School District. I am actually not from Greece. I'm from Erie, Pennsylvania. I graduated from Penn State University with a degree in marketing. My daughter is in 7th grade at Athena, and my son is in 2nd grade at Pine Brook, going into 3rd. Currently, my husband serves on the audit committee for, I believe, the past 8 years. He's also the president of the PTSA, so I'm kind of alongside him for all the fun and adventures that we do. Last year, we had a fun end-of-the-year activity where the kids got out of hand, and it was a lot of chalk. So if you have any questions, just ask Miss Julia. She'll give you all the fun details. We are also active parents on the GMB Booster Board. My daughter plays clarinet, and we've been doing this for 2 years, and we absolutely love the Grease Blue Marching Band and the community that we've joined. I'm currently the registrar for the Eastman School of Music. I've been there for 14 years. So I work with students every day, and prior to that, I was an admissions counselor at a college in Erie, Pennsylvania. So I've worked with students my entire life, and that's one of the things that I can bring to the board is just my experience. What I love about Greece is that I see the continued dedication and collaboration with the administration, the amazing teachers, and all the staff that represent the district, and I just want to continue to support the efforts of the Greece Central School District and be a part of this amazing board. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Smith.
Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Shauna Smith. I'm a little nervous, so I probably will read off this. And I have proudly called Greece my home since 2012. My husband, Shane, and I have been together for 21 years, and we are proud parents of 2 sons, also Shane, 12, and Jackson, 8, both of whom attend Greece schools. Choosing to build our family in Greece was inspired by my husband's connection as an Olympia alumnus, and I am so grateful for the strong community we have found here. I bring a unique perspective as a mother of 2 Greece school students, an engaged community member, and a dedicated stakeholder committed to driving positive change. With a degree in organizational management and 16 years at a leading energy company, I've developed expertise in navigating diverse viewpoints, managing budgets, and fostering effective collaboration, all while raising my family. Community service is at the core of who I am. I volunteer wherever I see a need, whether coordinating at Hope Church's Center for Hope Food Pantry, supporting youth summer programs, Athena Theater, which my son did this past fall, contributing to literacy initiatives, or joining the Autumn Lane Equity Team to represent working parents with traditional values. I dedicate myself to addressing critical needs with respect, care, and determination. I am running for the school board because I see the need for our community to step up for critical issues that need addressing, issues that directly affect children's well-being and future. Safety within our schools must be improved to address violence. Academic performance requires significant enhancement, and parental educational involvement has been sidelined for far too long. As a mother of 2 Greece students, I cannot idly stand by and continue to watch these concerns persist. I am determined to stand up to help students and staff alike. I am running to be the voice of parents and others who feel unheard or hesitant to speak up, to speak up, to support initiatives that can make our schools safe again, improve academic outcomes for all students, and foster parental educational involvement. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
So on to our first question. So in your opinion, what are the 3 most pressing issues facing public education today? And how would you work to address those issues at the local level here in Greece, but also as part of your role as an advocate at the state and the federal level? So again, 3 most pressing issues, and how would you work to address those here at the local level, but also serve as an advocate at the state and federal level? And Mr. Bonagario, we'll start with you.
All right. So when...
Oh, I think you're clicked off.
I'm sorry?
I apologize. I'll restart you. Yeah.
When I first began addressing the board about 4 years ago, I quickly learned that safety was one of the top priorities and greatest concerns of many of our residents, our teachers, students, and parents. Bullying, disruption, fights, even fear to use bathrooms was a common thing. And sadly to say, it hasn't changed a whole lot. There continue to be great concerns, and we've seen a number of them in just in the past year with some really horrifying examples of violence going on in our schools. It's a problem that encompasses all of our schools, but it's generally limited to a relatively small number of students. It's not like this is a pervasive thing, but it affects everybody. So that kids get stressed during class because kids are unruly. They create disruption that interferes with education. Teachers have to spend time trying to control unruly kids when they should be providing academic instruction to the rest of the students. That is a really big issue. The safety issue spills into the academic issue, which is the second big issue. And we are seeing academic performance across all grade levels that, according to the New York State Education Department, is significantly lagging. We lag well behind the state average in performance with respect to ELA, literacy, and math, and that's a problem. We really need to get a hold of that, a handle on that. Local control and the concerns of our residents is another issue that needs to be involved. That's an important part of what we need to address and where we can find solutions.
Thank you. Ms. Smith?
So three big issues. I think I kind of outlined them a little bit in my introduction, but safety. So as a parent with my children going to the Greece schools, when I think of safety, I don't think about people getting beat up in hallways. I don't think about bathroom stalls, all that stuff that you hear going on. Safety to curb that, honestly, in my opinion, starts at home. It starts with the families, and it starts with the children. It starts with holding them accountable. As a parent of my two boys, when they go to school, I talk to them about respect, honor. I know it sounds silly, honor, who uses that anymore, but it's true. You're representing yourself and your family when you go out into the real world. So I think that safety, number one, starts with families. We need to collaborate with families more and just bring it home that, the kids need to be held accountable. That ties into the code of conduct. Hopefully, maybe we could review that. How do we hold these kids accountable consistently across the board? How do we hold them accountable at different age levels? I had my own personal experience. My kindergartner at the time, he had undiagnosed ADHD. We didn't know at the time. And sorry, I get emotional about that part. But unfortunately, because of that, he was sent down a code of conduct lane, I guess you could say, that maybe wasn't really appropriate for a kindergartner. So these are things that I would like to focus on. I know that schools do the best they can. I'm not a teacher. I respect teachers. I think it's an incredible job. Administrators, you are literally running a mini city. So, but I do hope for more collaboration with parents, especially to affect the safety. And I do agree with Mark. Safety leads into our academic excellence. I can't imagine going to work and being worried about getting punched in the face. Like, if that actually happened, I would sue, find a new job, and have a great day. Our kids do not have that choice. So that's huge.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, thank you.
Ms. Falzarano?
I believe that
Oh, can you press your,
I believe the most pressing issues that we are facing right now, I hear what I'm hearing about the safety piece of it, but where's the root of that coming from? I think one of the most pressing issues we have right now is to make sure that locally and at the state level that there are resources to make sure that we have enough implements in place to support our teachers in our schools, and also the mental health piece, making sure that we have enough supports in our buildings, because behavior is often a cry for help. And when a classroom teacher is finding students that are having difficulty, we must absolutely address their social and emotional needs, because from there, learning will take place. We have that very historic thought about Maslow's theory, and when your basic needs are met, then you can become a more fully aware and actualized person. So in our schools, I would want to see resources for our teachers in our buildings and making sure that we have mental health providers. And I also think we need to reach out to our families. We want to make sure that our families are equipped with the things that they need to be successful with raising their children in our schools. And that is why I think our community schools are a huge benefit to us locally, because really it is wraparound support, fully looking to the needs of the child and the families so that they can be most successful with us when they are in schools with us. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Farah.
Thank you. So I kind of went in a couple of different directions, but kind of same line here. I think that things that we have area of growth, I think between our parents, our staff, our teachers, I think the Partners in Progress was a great indicator. We've been trying to get the staff, our community together. There seemed to be a lot of friction, and we need a well-oiled machine to make this all work. And when we see those separations, we do need to make sure that we're actually making sure that all the voices are heard. It's going to make it easier for the teachers, it's going to make it better for the kids, and it's definitely going to make it better for the parents. So social emotional learning was something that kids will learn. They have to go through the process in order to keep learning the social emotional learning, which also I kind of put as a strength. We are compassionate, we are loving, we are resilient, we have the heart and soul in our Greece community, and we can see through the Parents in Progress that we are seeing the supports that are there, so that's great, and we need those resources. I also thought then an area of growth should be technology. I had a strength for it and an improvement. Technology, we saw some great things. We upscaled our surveillance. We want to be proactive versus reactive with our children. I've got 4 kids in the district. No one wants to see anything happen to our kids or our staff. So safety then kind of comes into that piece where restorative practice comes in, kind of the code of conduct with the consequences, kind of helps have the kids see themselves maybe in the consequence with that restorative practice. We did go from a no tolerance policy to it feels as if it is an all tolerance policy. And we can't have that. And so I want to see also, and I'm going to flip that back to the technology, I want to see more academic excellence. I want to see more pencil to paper. I think we need more cognitive fine motor skills that will help with our evidence-based practices.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Ms. LaPlaca.
So I think the top 3 issues right now that are the biggest triggers in school is the teacher, staff, and bus driver shortages, mental health crisis, and of course, school safety. Going back to teacher and staff and bus driver shortages, if you don't have the staff to teach your kids or you don't have the proper teachers, then you're going to have burnout, which makes it hard for us to tackle some of the issues that are happening right now. Mental health is a real thing. I see it even in the college level. Kids are burned out, and Sean, to your atonement, ADHD. Our son was diagnosed with ADHD by a kindergarten teacher told us that we need to get our child looked at. So I think sometimes kids don't, in high school or even in middle school, have mental health issues that are not diagnosed, and that's kind of why they're lashing out. So I think we need to get to the root of why we're having these behavior issues and have more data before we can, say that every kid is bad. School safety concerns. Obviously, I'm a parent first. I don't want my kids going to school and the violence. And, every day I ask my daughter and my son, what's happening in the schools? But I think we as parents need to stay informed. We need to join groups. The superintendent had that lovely conference, and we learned a lot about some of the issues that parents are seeing. We need to collaborate with the schools and administrators. As a board member, I would go into the schools and I would love to talk to the principals. I have no problem doing that. I've been doing that now, and I'm learning a lot. The board meetings, I've heard Arcadia is an issue, and it breaks my heart, but I know the kids at Arcadia are very good kids. And again, we just need to get to the root of the problems that are happening in the school. But we need to have, strong teachers, a good mental health team, and school safety will hopefully get better. It'll never be abandoned, but we can do better. Thank you.
Timed that very, very nicely. All right. On to our next question. What does student achievement mean to you? And how would you define success for students in this district? And we're going to start off, Ms. LaPlaca.
Well, I'm going to use the example right now just because, my daughter goes to Athena. student achievement doesn't mean that kids have to be the brightest. They don't have to be the National Honor Society students. Right now, what they're doing at Athena is they're recognizing students that, maybe they got an A on their math test last week and they have never gotten an A on their math test before. There's different measures of achievement, and I think it's important that we are including all students, whether students that are, that maybe don't get 60% or, they're the honors students. But I like what they're doing there because they're acknowledging students that maybe will never be that 90% or that 100% student. So I look at student achievement by just showing up to school every day, being prepared, being, learning the classroom rules and wanting to go and do the different activities that the district offers. I mean, there's a whole array of activities that students can get involved in. And, I love that we have that available within our district. So I think student achievement is just not somebody that is 100%. We need to look at the student as a whole and say, they're a good student. They may not be, a high honor roll student, but they achieve things in different ways.
Great, thank you so much. All right, Mr. Bonagario.
So student achievement is measured at different levels. When we look at it from a school perspective, I think we often look at it from the ability to do work at grade level. And if a student can do that, a student can continue to grow through his or her academic career. But when a student falls behind in their grade level work, that has a negative snowball effect that continues through their career. Students who can do well and achieve at grade level will do well. But if you fall behind in first grade, second grade, third grade, for example, with literacy, it is extremely difficult to catch up. And you don't catch up going through 5th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And then you have the challenge of kids who just don't have the skills that are needed to find good careers or college opportunities without a lot of extra work. So success, I think, for students in achievement is being able to keep up with the grade level work. Not necessarily being 100%, but adequate. And right now, in the town of Greece, in this district, 70% of kids K through 8, according to NYSED, the state education department, are below grade level. And that's a very concerning thing. So that, to me, has to be one of our very top priorities. When we have kids who create problems, it's really important to look at root causes, but what we must not do is forget that the kids in the class who are not creating the problems are having their educational opportunity taken away from them, and we have to protect that opportunity for all our kids. Pay attention to the needs of those who are struggling with behavior, but not take away from that educational opportunity for those who are doing the work they're supposed to be doing.
Thank you. Ms. Falzarano.
Student achievement is the whole child, right? The whole child is important to our system. These students need to have that opportunity to fully grow into their best and full capacity. We will achieve that by making sure that we are taking those data measures and that we have innovative programs that align with those needs. And when we have those needs being met, the students will see and meet with success. The programs that are innovative are ones that will help our students to, again, reach their full capacity, and that assessments will help measure that, but also that they're taking part in their extracurricular activities, that we see them engaged fully and enjoying school, that they have a sense of belonging. That, to me, is achievement in its broadest sense. So yes, we have paper, pencil tests, computer-based tests. Students are going to perform in all the different core content areas so that they can be successful in careers beyond Greece Central. But at the core, we must be certain that we are addressing the whole child. And so that, for me, is what achievement means, that they are at their best under our supervision.
Thank you so much. Ms. Smith.
Thank you. Achievement, what does it mean to me? I agree. It definitely means that they can meet standards by the end of the school year. But what it also means to me is, I always tell my sons, do the best you can. If I know that they're doing the best they can and they still come home with an 80, I'm okay with that, as long as they're doing the best they can. Part of doing best you can, though, is having amazing teachers. I do want to give a shout out, Miss Eldridge. I don't know if she's still at Autumn Lane, but she was incredible with my son Jackson. Jackson, brilliant with math, naturally adept. Reading, not so much. Miss Eldridge went above and beyond. She took, I don't know how to say this in teacher language, but she took courses outside of school, learned about new programs, created actually a little book, specifically ABC and all this stuff, and gave it to my son. Now, she didn't do those programs specifically for my son, but basically she has a passion for teaching children how to read. And without that passionate teacher, I don't know what we would have done. I mean, don't get me wrong, I helped as well at home. I think it's a partnership between teachers, parents, the schools, and families. So to me, that's what student achievement would look like. Partnership, for sure, with parents, dedicated teachers, which we will only get if we have safety, and good benefits, but that's for another question, I'm sure. But yeah, I think that's what student achievement looks like to me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then Ms. Farah.
Okay, it's not easy almost going last. You kind
I
of take
know.
all the answers. So I will add that because I do believe most of what we are all talking about is something that we all need to make sure success for our students. I also think that it does come with maturity. I've got 4 kids and they can't be so diverse. And once I think that I have it all down, they do this and then they go back. And so my success for them would be that they're going to get this and see them thrive through maturity. They do need to find it holistically inside them. I've got a few of them that have challenged that, and you'd be surprised. Once they finally see it inside themselves, they shine. And so that is really the fundamentals for me, is that holistic approach. They have to see themselves in it. Let's see. We do, though, need to be careful as far as where we're going with the whole child. We do need to make sure that the parents are involved. We want to make sure that we are not stepping boundaries. It is nice to have those services. As far as success goes, I mean, I've got 4 kids, and some of them did come home in kindergarten, first grade. They ripped their jeans. So we got a new set of clothing for them. So some of these things for the whole child's needs, so the teachers can teach, is also part of this. Partnerships, you'd be surprised how much these kids can and thrive when they're given the chance to do so.
Great. Thank you so much. All right, question 3 is a little bit longer, so. All right. Many families are concerned by the potential termination of programs focused on diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, as well as banning the terms like exclusion in our schools. There's been hurtful and misinformed rhetoric at the national level regarding children with disabilities, particularly students with autism, as well as challenges to federal special education funding and inclusive education practices. Additionally, immigrant children, students who don't speak English, and other marginalized groups face ongoing challenges in accessing a quality education. How would you reassure families that their children, especially those with special education needs, immigrant backgrounds, or who might be an English language learner, will continue to receive a free, appropriate public education that is welcoming, inclusive, and accessible? What specific steps will you work towards to ensure that the needs of all students, particularly those with diverse needs, are met and supported? So I'll give you a second to jot down thoughts. All right, so how will you reassure families that their children will continue to receive a free, appropriate public education that is welcoming, inclusive, and accessible, particularly those families that are feeling quite scared right now? And we will start with you, Ms. Farah.
Okay. Well, I think that has to do with our budget. That is supporting the budget. There is a lot of things that we're doing to support those efforts and the avocation. we are seeing an influx of children with English to new language. We just got done, we got rid of French. So in reality, the amount of services that we need, we don't have right now. So it's unfortunate, but we do need to advocate more to the state. These are state requirements that are coming down that are mandated that don't get the services that they need, and they don't get the money behind these programs. So in order to do that, you do need to have that in your budget. You do need to make sure that they're going to get the rigor that they need. And, you know, we are seeing an increase of IEPs, 504s. We do need to have that conversation still going. They do deserve the academics. And quite honestly, a child that can actually speak more than one language is an asset. As a business owner, if I can have a student that speaks more than one language so they can go to my customers' homes, because we do have customers that speak other languages, we do need to make sure that they're multilingual in that. And there does need to be more services championed at the state level, unfortunately. So that's probably my quick answer for that, is really more avocation. Instead of taking that away, getting rid of our French classes that we had, I'm hoping we don't get rid of start to see Italian, kind of champion for all of those. So we need more is my go-to for that.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Bonagario?
So I'll start with the DEI concerns. I think the way Greece has handled that issue right from the beginning, it's talking about giving all students equity. Equity is about giving all students what they need to succeed. I think that's a really healthy way to approach it. It doesn't categorize anyone. It doesn't pit one group against another. It looks at all of our kids as equal and needing what they need to succeed. Let's do that. And Ms. Farah is right. It does become a budget issue. It also becomes an availability issue. Ms. LaPlaca mentioned the staffing shortage. It's hard to find teachers out there. Things are changing, but I think a lot of the issues that we see with behavior, we're seeing teachers across the country saying, I'm getting out. It's an opportunity for them to step out, and we need them. We need them to be involved. We especially need to have teachers with a variety of skills and talents. When we have different needs in one classroom, that is a real challenge for a teacher. Our teachers are great. They're really skilled. They're really talented. But, yeah, they are burning out from the immense burden that's on them. With kids with disabilities, it's great to have as much inclusion as possible. To the extent that those disabilities are really challenging, especially in the sense of behavior, we need to find ways to create alternative opportunities for them. But inclusion in general is beneficial to the kids who have the disabilities and to the general ed kids. But we need more supports for teachers in order to do that.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Smith?
Hi, thank you. First and foremost, I think Title IX protects a lot of that. I think under the law, we need to provide those services to everyone. So I would not be worried about that in that respect. But as far as just easing, the tension of what's going on in the government today, I was looking at the budget and I was curious, how much does the federal budget actually cover? Are we gonna all, is the school gonna sink? Is the ship gonna sink? The federal budget only covers about 4 to 5%. So when and if that does get pulled, Greece is still in a wonderful spot. I know Romeo has the contingency plan, and the budget, they have it covered. So that would be what I would like to say to parents, is that Greece schools have them covered. Immigrants, DEI, the disabilities. My son has ADHD. IEP plans are out there. They're very inclusive. The schools are willing to work with you and to make sure that every child is successful. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Plaka?
I think the crust of it is that we're public education. We have to support these students no matter what. I mean, this is something that's near and dear to my heart, because I work for the University of Rochester, and we're going through the same thing right now. You know, the mental health needs, the English as a second language, we're getting a lot of international students. You know, the resources are smaller, the budget's getting cut at the college levels right now. We're getting emails consistently telling us that we're going to have to tighten our belt. And that's what we do as a school district. We look at the budget, and, you know, Mr. Clilley is an amazing finance person. I've watched him for years, and, you know, he knows what he's doing. And I think, you know, we try to be smarter and not work harder. And we come up with different other programs. And yes, it might tax the system, but, you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, as long as that they're here, you know, we need to support them in any way we can. And as long as we're public education, that's what we have to do. And, you know, these are some of the nicest students that you'll ever meet. Students that that are, you know, language learners that are not, English is not their first language. Students that have autism, you know, ADHD. It's, you know, they are just the best students that just want to graduate and have the best education just like the rest of us. And we need to treat them equal, just like we all do.
Thank you. Ms. Falzarano.
I welcome this question simply because, as a Greece resident and former employee, we have done amazing work in supporting our students in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are exceedingly proud of the work that we have done. If you notice, our enrollment in special ed has increased, as have our English language learners. It's not a coincidence that our enrollment, or I'm sorry, our population has increased. People are finding us. People know that when you come to Greece and you are an English language learner, or perhaps a student with special needs, families know that they're going to get a top quality education from our school system. We have programs that are well articulated and well designed to meet the needs of a variety of students. So to that point, I would assure parents that we are in good stead. In terms of funding, there are grant funds that we do tap, but our budget also supports the many programs that we have for our students. We have a well-trained staff. We have teachers that are supported by professional learning, and that our community is aware of our diversity, which I believe is our strength. It's our superpower, that we are the voice, that we are able to be the voice for our students who may not have a voice, and for families, so that they should be assured that we will continue to act on behalf of their students.
Thank you so much. All right, question 4. The New York State Board of Regents has expressed interest in developing new pathways for students to showcase their academic achievements. While the specifics are still forthcoming, how open are you to supporting innovative programs and alternative pathways, such as CTE, early college, or personalized learning, that promote student success and readiness? So just talking about different ways to demonstrate and, you know, be college and career and life ready. So, give you a sec. And Ms. Smith, we'll start with you.
I'm extremely open to it. I like the program that Greece has now with Pathways. I forget the rest of the name, I'm so sorry. I had it written down somewhere. But I do appreciate it that they team up with emergency services and other programs or career paths for that with the high school students. I would like to see that grow and continue. I think blue-collar jobs are going to be huge in the next few years as we move along. So I think more career pathways would be phenomenal. I don't know if the New York Board of Regents would take that, but that would be something I would hope that they would consider, training kids young. Early college, I mean, I think we already have kind of that in the schools as it is, taking college credits while in high school. So I don't know if that would be anything different than right now. I would be careful with that, just because, pressure on kids nowadays I don't know how many students that would help, but I definitely would want it for, I would say, gifted students, if they have that. But yeah, no, I'm always open to absolutely new ways of learning. Again, ADHD, big in my house. Our brains work differently, but that doesn't make anybody any less intelligent. So I would be extremely open to different ways of learning for all sorts of students.
Thank you.
you.
All right, Ms. Falzaro? Oh, can you press your? It's okay.
I believe this is a tremendous step forward for us to recognize that children learn in many different ways. As teachers, we learn about multiple pathways, multiple modalities, and children learn in many different ways. It's not one size fits all. So a pathways open so many doors for our students to be able to demonstrate learning that comes from a variety of different ways. I do think that a combination of a Regents style academic plan supporting or being the framework, if you will, for the pathways would be ideal, because I do think there is something to be said about a Regents diploma from New York State. But I also think that students are living in a world that is far different than maybe 50 years ago or 20 years ago. So for us as a school district, it is incumbent upon us to make sure that we are preparing them as best as we can. And if New York State is saying that we are possibly allowing the CTE and early college readiness, this is giving our students a step up for their future. And I think giving kids ways to demonstrate their learning is best for all students. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. Ms. LaPlaca?
Yeah, I agree that we should continue to be innovative. We should come up with ways to offer, programs or credits for students to take. Not every student is college-bound. An example is my brother. He was not college-bound. He benefited from a program, and now he's a successful tool and die maker. There are certain kids that just do better with, different learning models. So I think we definitely need to be looking for different ways to be innovative. If we could offer, college is expensive, so absolutely I'd be in support of more college credits for students to be able to take. But this is something that we just always have to stay ahead of. So, yeah.
Great, thank you. Ms. Fair?
Thank you. Yes, we do need to have careers and pathways. Again, all of us have said, not everyone's going to go to college. I've got 4 diverse kids. I have no idea which direction they're going to go, but it's going to be very interesting to see, and I look forward to that. I would also say, partnering with the Greece Chamber of Commerce, I was able to see the JA BizTown. And seeing these kids go in there and all of the different varieties that they do have between the banking, the construction, payroll, hospitality services, they are getting the little bit that they need to kind of get their cognitive skills light bulbed and to see what there is out there. I think that was a great program. So although that may not be in the careers and pathways, it's something to do with that. It was nice to see. They learn a lot from that. They learn how to balance checkbooks. They learn how to be physically responsible. They learned how to have they're learning all about civics. So there's much to see, and there's much that these kids can learn, and we all want these kids to thrive. That's going to be the best that we can see. They are going to be our future governors, our future presidents, our future doctors. And, we just need those pathways in order for them to grow.
Thank you so much. Mr. Bonacario?
I think the CTE pathways are fantastic. What we're really talking about there is the ability for kids to pursue their interests and learn everything they need to know along the way. That doesn't preclude them from learning the same kinds of things. It's just a different path, and it's down a path that's really interesting to them. That helps keep them engaged. That helps them pursue their dreams. So I think that's a really great thing. Kids who are inclined towards college and want to pursue that, sure, that's a great thing to have access to college credits. My concern with the Board of Regents proposal with regards to alternative ways to demonstrate knowledge is we just need to make sure that they really are demonstrating the knowledge. Sometimes it seems that we pursue a means of trying to create an opportunity for kids to get along without actually doing the work, and they don't really have the knowledge that's needed. We want to make sure that the knowledge is demonstrated through, maybe it's through a portfolio or something like that, or projects. Tests are not the only way to demonstrate knowledge, but we just need to make sure that that's accomplished along the way. I'm afraid that moving away from a Regents diploma is a way to skirt the issue and not acknowledge that sometimes academics are not being achieved at the level that the district is hoping for.
All right, thank you so much. All right, this question is more about you as a board member. How would you define a successful tenure on the Board of Education? Considering the limitations of serving as one board member out of 9 with a 3-year term. Within the scope of a board member's roles and responsibilities, what does success look like to you? And how do you envision achieving it? So how would you define a successful tenure on the Board of Education, knowing that we are pretty limited in our roles and responsibilities and we're one of 9? Ms. Farah, if you'll start us off.
I would have to say, it's not always easy coming to an agreement. You have 9 diverse people on the board. It's hard to just even get 2 people to agree. You do have to respect the role. You do have to listen to each other. And that is a productive board, when you can have those open dialogues and you can actually share decision-making and come to the conclusion. That is a good tenure board. That is something that we're striving for, and that is something that we are working towards with the new superintendent and the cabinet. We are a new board of 5 that are new, and between the superintendent, 2 new cabinet members, 3, including the deputy superintendent. So working well together, we're still in that process of getting that together. And that process has been going very well, and it's been going smooth. Like I said, we have had more study sessions. So also having that open communication from your superintendent as well, that's key. Not only are we here for the superintendent, but the superintendent's also here for the board as well. It is a big district, and we, again, don't always come to the same conclusions. You do have to put your head on your pillow at night, and you have to make sure that the next day the door is open, the lights are on, and we continue on that process, and we will get there. There are ups and downs on the board, but it takes countless hours of trying to get that tenure that you need.
Thank you. Ms. LaPlaca.
So I think the biggest thing is listen, listen, listen. It's going to be a huge learning curve the first year, and I can't pretend that I know everything, which I'm not. Reading and studying the policies of the board, there's a lot, so it's going to be a lot of reading and taking in all the information. Working with your board mentor, that's also going to be an important how you can grow your role in the board. Learning from their perspective, one of the things that as a person is that I can see 2 sides to every story. So I always like to listen to everybody's perspective and then come back and think about it and then make my decision. Continue to serve on committees. That's really, really important in the district. That's how you learn. That's how you grow. That's how you become knowledgeable of what's happening. And the other thing is just continue to meet with district leaders and ask them what is happening. The liaison schools, go to the schools, visit, see what's going on, talk to the teachers, talk to the principals, and just always continue to learn. I'm always learning in my job, and I'm always going to continue to learn. So that's how I would grow.
Thank you. Ms. Smith, sorry.
Thank you. A successful tenure. When I decided to run for the board, I am driven by, well, the town of Greece. I love this town. I'm grateful my kids have a free education and a good education. As I said, we have amazing teachers, staff. They're always trying to do the best for our children. Obviously, we still have some issues with safety and all that. So I think my successful tenure would be advocating for parents, working with staff, teachers, administration to try to make this place just a little bit better. It'll be an improvement. That would be a successful tenure. I want to be able to help communication with parents, especially. I want to address their concerns and then work with the schools and hope that we can build that brighter future that we all want for our children. Part of that successful tenure as well is just knowing that I made an impact in some way positive for everyone. As I mentioned, the code of conduct review, getting reading and math comprehension skills up, and just making sure our kids can meet those standards that we would like them to meet at the end of the school year.
Thank you so much. All right, Mr. Bonagario.
If you have a restaurant and you're the head chef, I suppose the best thing you would want to do, what you'd want to do to have good tenure there, successful tenure, is to produce the best product you can. And I think that's what it comes down to here as a board member and in the town of Greece. At root, we are a school district. Our job is to educate our kids above everything else. That's our main goal, and we shouldn't lose sight of that. It's good to be able to do a lot on all the other things that we do that support our kids, that support our families, to make them successful. But the end goal really is to equip them to be able to go out into the world, to give them the reading skills that are so fundamental to success. The leading indicator of future incarceration is illiteracy. And if we don't make sure our kids have the fundamental skills, reading unlocks a world of opportunity to kids. So critical mission is to provide kids that basic education. Similarly with math, so much of the world is, especially in this high-tech world that we're living in now, without a good grounding in math skills, you're limited. So our job, our first job, is to provide those skills as best we can. And then, there are soft aspects to it. Someone said to me, do you really want to do this, the conflict and all? Yeah, we occasionally have some conflict, but this has been, for me, it's been great to be able to work with a diverse group of people. At the end of the day, I think we like each other, and we get along with each other. I'm looking at someone in the back of the room there who we're as different as we can be, and yet we have so much in common. I think that's a reality that really helps you achieve success.
Thank you. Ms. Falzerano.
I think a successful tenure
Oh,
as
hey.
a board member would be for me to, I think a successful tenure for me as a board member would be for me to promise the parents of today the same joy that I experienced as a parent that my 3 children enjoyed at their years at Athena, with the academics and the extracurricular activities as they participated in, and those learnings carried them well into their college years and into their careers. So for that, I am grateful, and I would really very much like to do that for families who are in our midst currently. I think a successful tenure would be that we are promising a high-quality education for the future, that we are preparing our kids to be global citizens in the 21st century and equipping them with those skills, such as the technology and the math, but also remembering, too, that they carry with them the different skills and pathways that we're talking about that would allow them to be those individuals as they go into the future. I do think that is a successful tenure would be that I would be a liaison to different buildings, learn more about our district. There is a lot to learn, to be sure, but that we would also leave our district in good stead in terms of fiscal responsibility and also in terms of staffing and resources. So I think those would be the most important things for me as a board member to define success.
Great, thank you so much. All right. In conclusion, please use these last 2 minutes to share anything that you might not have been able to cover so far this evening, anything you want the community to know about you before the election on May 20th. All right. Ms. LaPlaca?
I'm going to read a statement just so that I can make sure I get everything out that I want to say. 14 years ago, my husband and I moved from Pennsylvania to Greece, New York. At the time, we didn't have any children, but since our daughter and now our son have been attending the Greece Central School District, we've become deeply invested in and supportive of public education. Not all families can afford private education, and we were initially nervous about sending our kids to Greece Central due to the things we heard from others in the community. However, over time, through our involvement and seeing firsthand the dedication within the district, we have come to realize just how amazing Greece really is. One thing I have noticed is that many people you talk to in the district have not only gone to school here, but they've stayed and raised their families here. The teachers and administrators have long tenures, which speaks true to the commitment of the district. That said, I'm not suggesting that the district is perfect. We still have work to do, and I'm sure no administrator would disagree with that. I know there are families who may feel unheard or are dealing with challenges like mental health or bullying. I want you to know that as a parent, I genuinely care about all the students, families, teachers, and staff in the district. Over the years, I have witnessed so many wonderful things like our state championships in sports, cheerleading, and other school events. On a daily basis, we celebrate the good in Greece through initiatives like Leader in Me, musical theater performances, concerts, and other credible STEM and robotics programs. 2 years ago, I had the honor of watching the GMB Blue Knights win their first ever state championship. Seeing 4 schools come together as one to achieve this victory brought tears to my eyes. It was a powerful reminder of the amazing kids we have in this district and what we can accomplish as a community when we work together. I want to serve on the Board of Education because I believe that by working together with our dedicated teachers, amazing staff, and supportive families, we can continue to build on the great work already happening in this district.
Thank you so much. Ms. Farah?
I want to thank everyone for taking their time to come out here tonight and those that will be watching later to hear about all the candidates running to make Greece a better place. It's been my pleasure serving for the past 3 years, from speaking at resident forum before being elected, talking about issues at hand before. My colleague Mark Bornagorio and I were able to also bring the right to read, and we were able to showcase that here in Greece with the help from Kareem Weaver from the NAACP, and partnering with the Western New York Alliance and helping to advocate for the science of reading, the science of math, and the science of learning. Being a part of advocating for also phonics, phonemic awareness, evidence-based teaching practices, education is always evolving, and we see great progress in enlightening our learning. That also took us to hiring a new superintendent and working with a brand new cabinet, making those shared decision-making and being a voice of support to our town. I want to continue our partners in progress for our staff, our parents, and our community. I can't tell you how valuable it was making those connections during those meetings that we had. I can see firsthand how the district's trying to cultivate the trust, part of their strategic plan. Parents want to see their children thrive. Teachers deserve to focus on instruction. And I look forward to continuing our work at the state and federal level, as I currently do, expanding those opportunities for Greece, and with safety at the forefront, and with your support, we will continue to build a strong and more safer community and connected. And I ask for your vote on May 20th. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Ms. Falzarano.
I am an experienced educator and administrator with proven results. I have a student-centered vision and a deep understanding and a commitment to our community. The work of educating our students can be challenging at times, but through collaboration, the rewards we will realize are far greater. I believe that a high-quality education is one in which students can reach their full potential through a variety of rich learning opportunities in our schools, where students experience joy in their learning and a genuine sense of belonging is cultivated. So, we know that student achievement is and should be our #1 priority. How will we get there? We will continue to achieve excellence to ignite learning, and I will be responsive to those challenges that necessarily come with change. I value the data-driven decisions that lead to effective instructional initiatives that support our students academically, socially, and emotionally. And I look to expand our opportunities for all students with creative ways to meet this by using fiscal responsibility. We also know that school safety matters. Students learn best in safe and comfortable schools. So how will we get there? I will support the actions that promote safety in the classroom and on the school grounds, provide additional training and resources to support our staff in our buildings so that children can feel safe and parents can feel assured that their children are safe when they're with us. I also assure you that we will address the staffing shortages by being competitive with our bargaining units so that we have the best and the brightest in our schools, because a well-resourced room is a safe room. Excuse me. We know that families are also essential partners in the education process, and I will continue to engage you, our families, through surveys and parent forums to gather your opinions and those of our students. I will continue to support events that welcome our families as well as the Greece community into our schools and that help us build a trusting and collaborative relationship. We
you so
know that the
much.
community stands behind all that we do too. I understand the needs. They have expressed their confidence in us, the entire community.
Thank you so
by
much,
being
Ms. Balderon.
generously voting for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Bonagaria?
Thank you. Education is one of the most important gifts that we can give to our young people. It can be the difference between a future of hope and one of despair. I've already mentioned the importance of achievement and the foundational skills. Third grade reading ability is an important marker for future success. Last year, NICED told us that only 29% of our kids are reading at or above grade level. We've had similar, and it's been like that for about 10 years. The same is true with math. We're at about 40% there. If you believe that education is essential to a child's future, and it is, then you ought to be alarmed by these statistics. Somewhere we lost our focus on student achievement. I'm excited that we are starting to turn back the focus towards evidence-based strategies. Ms. Farah mentioned that we have partnered on a few things to bring attention to evidence-based strategies here in Greece. We've also done a lot to try to focus attention on the need to resolve the issues of behavior that are disrupting classrooms and threatening students and teachers. We had a teacher who was severely injured because of a fight. We have to make our classrooms and schools safer and more accessible to learning. Superintendent Smollene's efforts at the Partners in Progress, bringing more voice to parents, is critical in building trust. We need to extend that same process, that same partnership to our teachers, so they can have the same confidence that we are going to be making this an environment for them to thrive in as well. Thank you.
So much. Ms. Smith?
Thank you. I'm going to end with a story that I hold dear to my heart and really use with my own children. It's based on a true story of a Holocaust survivor. On a train ride, a daughter asked her father a question that was too old for a little child. In response, the father asked her a question: "Will you carry this traveling case?" The daughter tried to pick it up, but it was heavy, with having watches and spare parts in it. The little girl responded, "It's too heavy." "Yes," said the father. And would it be a pretty poor father who would ask his little girl to carry such a load? It's the same way, my daughter, with knowledge. Some knowledge is too heavy for children. When you are older and stronger, you can bear it. For now, you must trust me to carry it for you. It's from The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. As parents, one of our most profound responsibilities is preparing our children to thrive beyond the home. This includes instilling values, fostering meaningful relationships, whether with friends, family, or colleagues, and equipping them with the knowledge and skills to pursue their calling in life. Parents have the fundamental right to oversee their child's education. ensuring what they learn aligns with their family's principles and values. Schools, in turn, play a vital role in teaching, guiding students toward academic excellence, and shaping their intellectual growth. True success comes from collaboration, where educators focus on their craft and parents actively engage in molding the whole child. Together, we can build an educational environment that nurtures character, strengthens knowledge, and upholds the shared commitment to our children's future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you to each of you for running for the Board of Education. It is a tremendous act of service to the community, and I wish you each the best of luck. I want to remind community members to vote on May 20th so that your voice is heard. Thank you all, and good evening.
Thank you.